This is healing, this is growth, this is truth. Chitter Chatter! We run the vibe, talk it out loud, bring it to the light, from the pain to the glow up after. Welcome to Chitter Chatter! Chitter Chatter, say it loud, say it proud. Real talk only, we don't water down. Every queen got a voice that matters. Step inside Chitter Chatter! Yeah, we speaking life, no filter, no fear. Every story told, yeah, it matters right here. From the laughs to the tears, we keep it all real. Mind check, heart check, tell me how you feel. Building up queens, yeah, we shift into space. Healing out loud, putting truth in your face. It's a vibe, it's a movement, more than a show. When unique will talk, you already know. Chitter Chatter! We run the vibe, talk it out loud, bring it to the light, from the pain to the glow up after. Welcome to Chitter Chatter! Chitter Chatter, say it loud, say it proud. Real talk only, we don't water down. Every queen got a voice that matters. Step inside Chitter Chatter! Black Girl Beauty presents Chitter Chatter! Hosted by Unique with Manigal. You know what time it is. It's Chitter Chatter time. It's Chitter Chatter time. This ain't just talk. This is healing. This is growth. This is truth. This ain't just talk. This is healing. This is growth. This is truth. Chitter Chatter. We run the vibe. Talk it out loud. Bring it to the light. From the pain to the glow up after. Welcome to Chitter Chatter. Chitter Chatter, say it loud, say it proud. Real talk only, we don't water down. Every queen got a voice that matters. Step inside Chitter Chatter. Yeah, we speaking life, no filter, no fear. Every story told, yeah, it matters right here. From the laughs to the tears, we keep it all real. Mind check, heart check, tell me how you feel. Building up queens, yeah, we shift into space. Healing out loud, putting truth in your face. It's a vibe, it's a movement, more than a show. When unique will talk, you already know. Chitter Chatter! We run the vibe, talk it out loud, bring it to the light, from the pain to the glow up after. Welcome to Chitter Chatter! Chitter Chatter, say it loud, say it proud. Real talk only, we don't water down. Every queen got a voice that matters. Step inside Chitter Chatter! Black Girl Beauty presents Chitter Chatter! Hosted by Unique with Manigal. You know what time it is. It's Chitter Chatter time. It's Chitter Chatter time. This ain't just talk. This is healing. This is growth. This is truth. You know what time it is. It is Chitter Chatter time. Welcome back. I am your host, Unique with Manigal, actress, model, poet, Black Girl Beauty coach. You can follow me on Facebook and YouTube at Unique with Manigal. On IG, Coco Plum, that's KOKOPLUUM. And on TikTok, I am Uniqua, that's IAMUNIQUIA. Don't forget my I. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Drop a like, drop a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend that it is Chitter Chatter time. It is season 5, episode 59, The Power of Reinvention, a journey of service, education, leadership, and sisterhood. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're diving into a conversation about resilience, growth, and the courage to reinvent yourself. Life doesn't always follow a straight path, and sometimes our greatest strength comes from embracing change and stepping into new versions of ourselves. Our guest today is someone who embodies that journey. Miss Felicia Thomas is a military veteran, a recent college graduate, and an active member of a biker club, and so much more. Her story proves that you don't have to be defined by just one title, one season, or one chapter of our lives. Join us as we discuss what it means to reinvent yourself, overcome challenges, break stereotypes, and continue evolving no matter where life takes you. This is Black Girl Beauty, and tonight's conversation is all about the power of reinvention. But you know what we got to do first. You know we gotta do before we get too deep. Gotta bank head bounce with it. We gonna mix our drink. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long, long week for me. So definitely about to have a good time mixing my drink. And for those of you, no, I got to get the towel. For those of you that like to keep track, I already dropped stuff. Keep track of my alcohol consumption. This is the same bottle that I use to mix the Hunch Punch for ladies' night, so it's still lasting strong. See how much? And step inside the store sometimes and try different varieties of alcohol. This is Pueblo Viejo, however you say that, tequila. And it's very, very good. And ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and put all of y'all on Do Not Disturb, because for some reason, and I'm having a hard time understanding why everybody's having a hard time understanding that on Thursdays you can't call me. Like on Thursday night, just don't call. Don't call, don't text, especially between the hours of 7 and 10. Yes, 7 and 10, because it takes me that long. So let me go ahead and put that on Do Not Disturb. Then we're back in. But I got a new mixer. Oh my gosh. And it comes with a little shot glass on top with the measurements on the side. And ladies and gentlemen, you know we were the 4-ounce gang because my measuring cup started at 4 ounces. Well, my new one, and I wanted to get this in purple, but my eyes ain't where they need to be. So I wanted to get clear so that I can see the measurements on the side. So I got 1 ounce on here, so we don't have to go straight to 4. But we you know we done got used to 4, so we gonna stick to that for now. But this new drink I'm making, it's just, I'm gonna call it a Cocoa Rita, because it's a spin on the margarita, but I'm adding in the strawberry cut water already. They say it's a death sentence. It really don't do me how they say it do. You know, you got to have the ice in my oh, this is McDonald's cup. I thought it was Racetrack. Lemon juice. Keep the lemon juice. I have some grenadine. I like to sweeten up the margaritas. And some peach schnapps. That just adds a little sugar and spice to it. So we're gonna start with the tequila. And I said let's see, we might do 2. Let's just stick to 4 because that's what we've been doing. And then 4 has really been working for us. When I say us, I mean me. So it's really been working. So we're going to stick to 4. And we're going to do 2. I don't want to do the whole can. So we're going to do 2 ounces of the strawberry cut water. That just didn't seem like enough. So let's go to 8. Just 10, you know, just half and half. So from 4 to 10, so 6 ounces of the cut water. Not the whole can, you know, it just is what it is. We might not get through this whole thing. We're gonna do 2 ounces of lemon juice. So it's gonna take that up to 12. And this is like a nightly drink. Don't if you making this and you know you a lightweight, baby, lighten it on up and don't go too far, okay? And make sure this drink lasts you out. Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking on the power of reinvention. Sometimes you got to reinvent yourself. Step out, try a new alcohol, mix a new drink, meet some new friends, step outside of your comfort zone and just begin again. We're going to do 2 ounces of the peach schnapps. That takes us up to 14. I like this new cup already. I feel like it's really doing what needs to be done. And then we're going to top that off with 2 ounces of the grenadine. And then we out of ounces. So we right on time. We good. And boom. And we're going to add some ice in there. When you're reinventing yourself, you have to keep in mind that everything is new. Sometimes when you're starting from scratch, you're looking at yourself where you should be, where you thought you would have been. You got to get all that out your mind, because sometimes in life, it's not that you're too late. It's just that you haven't gotten started yet. You just got to jump out there and put your foot down. Ooh, it's looking good. Now see, I hate when that happens. It's the sodas. Every time I put a little, it ain't even no soda, but I mean like the cut water is, the ginger beers, they always pop my thing open. Luckily, nothing spilled. But I know this joint looking good though. You cannot keep judging yourself based off of past situations and things that you have done in the past or where you are now. Because sometimes that is what holds us back the most. Oh, it's too late for me to get started. It's too late for me to jump out here. It's too late for me to begin doing what I should have been doing 10, 15 years ago. It's never too late, ladies and gentlemen. It's never too late. And you have to have the courage to do so. And that is why I have my guest coming in to speak. She's going to be telling us about her journey and everything that brought her to where she is now. Because one thing that we have to keep in mind, and we like to forget it, every winner, before we get too deep, let me go ahead and toast on in. That might be too good for comfort. It's real good. It's on the, I mean, it better be good as sweet as all the sweetness I had up in there, but it's so good. I don't know if it's safe. So we're going to be very moderate with this drink, ladies and gentlemen. We have gone ahead and toasted on in. This is the cocoa strawberry. I'm going to say the strawberry coca-rita, because you can probably make this exact same drink with the other variations of cut water. But tonight we use the strawberry margarita. But like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, when you're rebuilding yourself, when you're coming back into the life that you thought that you would be, when you're trying to get yourself back on track, the things that you should have done, the things that you thought you should have done, the places that you thought you should have been by now, that will really sometimes hold us back and prevent us from moving forward and going forth in the places that we need to go. And that is why you have to get that out your mind, because sometimes, and we've been talking about it throughout the months, sometimes you are your biggest enemy. You are what holds you back. You are what keeps you from moving forward. And when you're trying to reinvent yourself, or not even reinvent, sometimes it's not always reinvention. Sometimes you're trying to keep going forward. When you're trying to keep pushing forward, sometimes you need to get out of your own way and just start putting the foot forward. Baby steps count. Because trust and believe, when you've taken 100 baby steps versus when you've taken none, you'll see the progress. Baby steps count. Don't be afraid to step forward and start moving and get yourself going. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings me to the very first commercial of the night. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break so that you guys can get acclimated in some of the things that we have coming up forward. We'll be right back after this commercial break, and stay tuned because Miss Felicia will be coming to speak with you in just a short second. You know what time it is. It's Chitter Chatter time. It's Chitter Chatter time. This ain't just talk. This is healing. This is growth. This is truth. This ain't just talk. This is healing. This is growth. This is truth. Chitter Chatter. We run the vibe. Talk it out loud. Bring it to the light. From the pain to the glow up after. Welcome to Chitter Chatter. Chitter Chatter. Say it loud. Say it proud. Real talk only. We don't water down. Every queen got a voice that matters. Step inside Chitter Chatter. Yeah, we speaking life. No filter, no fear. Every story told, yeah, it matters right here. From the laughs to the tears, we keep it all real. Mind check, heart check. Tell me how you right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back. And the commercial that you just saw is speaking about Black Girl Beauty School of Careers and some of the programs that we offer. We are the first online Black-owned apprenticeship school in the nation. When you come to Black Girl Beauty School of Careers, you get an education and you earn while you learn. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested, be sure to jump on over to our website and join our community, because the Black Girl Beauty Foundation is going so many places and we have so many avenues, and we have boot camps coming up for the kids in the summer, and we have so many programs that we are offering here with Black Girl Beauty School of Careers and Black Girl Beauty Foundation. And speaking of Black Girl Beauty, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my guest. She is a Black Girl Beauty member, and she is one of our sisters in the South Carolina state, and I want to go ahead and bring her in.
Hi.
Oh, how are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am so great. We are so happy to have you here on Chitter Chatter tonight to speak about the power of reinvention. I want to first congratulate you on everything that you have accomplished. And I just want you to go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of give us a feel on what comes to mind when you hear about the power of reinvention and how that has helped to shape your life and get you to where you are now.
Oh my gosh, that statement alone says a whole lot, like throughout my life. So the power of reinvention to me is not letting one chapter define your life. We have to know that at any moment we are the author, well, co-author to our book, and we can change directions at any time. Along with that, one of my favorite quotes is, do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? So when you decide on who you are, besides being who someone else wants you to be, that defines that whole statement.
That is absolutely amazing. And it's so true. And so many of us struggle with, first of all, figuring out who we are. And then once we figure out who we are, applying that to our life and the things that we feel are our duties to fulfill. How was it for you discovering who you were and then trying to figure out how you could acclimate yourself into your community and into the world that you find yourself existing in?
At first it was hard, especially having the structure of being in the military. I am a retired military veteran. Go Army.
Go
um,
on.
but trying to transition from being in the military coming back into the civilian world, it was a little battle, because it's almost like I wasn't who I was. I was who they wanted me to be. So coming back into the civilian world, as we call it was a hard thing to do, because that flow of money, that structure, that everyday, hey, I got to get up at this time. And believe it or not, I still get up at that same time, because habits are very
Right.
hard to
The
break.
body.
Yes. So like my internal clock, it automatically, I'm still getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm still going to bed at a certain time, unless I'm out having me a good time. Other than that, I'm in the bed and stuff early.
We're going to take a
Even
sip to having a good time.
yes, even with my kids, I had time with them, but I didn't have as much time as I had, once I retired and got out of the military. So that alone, even with family, because when I retired, I came back, I took care of my grandmother. I got to spend her latter days with her before she transitioned on. And for me, that was one of the most important parts of me transitioning out of the military and trying to become normal, if we even know what normal is.
Right. And for you, you were actually the raised up in the military, like you're a military child as well. So how was that transition with, because once you're in the military yourself and then you transfer to civilian life, it's one journey. But to have been a child raised up under the military structure and then you yourself join, like that's a whole nother dynamic, because a lot of people in the military, they just go, like some of them are the first generation, and then they're going, and then they experience this whole world, and it's a whole new thing for them. But for you, you were kind of already familiar with the structure and the military life before joining. So did that kind of make the transition harder once you came back to civilian life? Because it's kind of almost like you've been in the military your entire life and then transition back. How was that?
It it was a positive and a negative. Because I miss my family
Mm.
and I miss the structure. Um so sometime we get out and we get a little complacent. Because I stayed retired for 8 years before I even started working on
Mm.
anybody's 9 to 5 job, which I enjoy my retirement. As I should have, because I worked hard for it. But um it was a positive thing being in the military and being raised by military parents. Um, it made you look at life differently.
Mm.
I can honestly say that because um, I knew structure, but I got more structure by going in.
Right.
Discipline, I brought my kids up the same way. And any other kid that come in my to my yard, to my house, I tell people, if you don't want me to discipline your child and your child don't have no discipline, please do not send them to my
I
house
too,
because
and I have none. Got room for.
yes, but it provided me with stability. And I don't know if a lot of people is familiar with the little old town called Casey. You know, we're better known for our Christmas lights and parade. But just the area that I grew up in, I just knew that once I retired, I wanted to come back here and I wanted to give back because I knew my situation can change at any time. So that that's the positive side to growing up in the military, being in the military, getting out, and then using everything that I was brought up and I that was instilled into me, I'm giving it back to my community and even my kids because I now have two sons that's in the military.
Oh,
So they
that's
they
amazing.
keeping the cycle going.
That's amazing. And I recently had a guest on a few weeks ago that was also in the military. And one of the things that we forgot to touch on that I wanted to ask you about was she was speaking about a lot of the reason why her children's ages were so separated. Like I think the age gaps were so big was because in the military, as a woman, when you have children, it's almost hard to climb that ladder because of that. And I just wanted to ask you, to if you could give us a little more in depth, kind of what she was speaking of, because we never actually touched on it on the live, but I was very interested in to know like kind of how that flows. Is it hard to be a mom and in the military and climb the ladder at the same time? And what are some of the battles that you face?
It is when you don't have a support system.
Mm.
Um, but when you do have that support system, because being away, because like my first duty station was in El Paso, Texas. So being in El Paso, Texas, I had my youngest son with me. My other two sons, their dad actually stepped up and was like father of the years.
Mm.
Um,
And
because
once
they were like, okay,
here,
yes,
they just
happy Father's Day to them. Happy belated Father's Day to them. But they stepped up and they say, hey, I know you're trying to do better for you and the boys. Let them come stay with me. Each one of them, we all sat down, we had to talk, and we made out a plan and everything. So it was hard being away from them because they were back here in South Carolina. I was in El Paso, Texas, and my youngest was with me. But even with him, I had to find an outside family. Like I had to take in other people and bring them into my life as my family because it was late nights
mm.
of working. We had to have power of attorney because if we had to go to the field, it was not, I don't have a babysitter. No, you're going to the field. So if you didn't have that power of attorney, you didn't have long-term care for your kids, then you got put out. Now you had the choice of going ahead and getting out, and it was a different type of chapter that you would have to chapter out, but you had that stuff put in place because I was miles and miles away from
Mm.
immediate family.
And so with that, everything that goes on when you're existing in the military, when it comes to reinvention, if you could give it a number, how many times did you have to reinvent yourself to survive in the military, outside of the military, and being a mom? Because those are kind of like three different lives that you're juggling all at one time. So how many times did you have to reinvent yourself with that? And what was that journey like in those processes like? Because I know each process and each journey was different. How were they, and how did it affect you moving forward?
It taught me resilience.
Got to have it.
Um, and I'm a big person on resilience. However, I do tell people that sometimes it's something called too much resilience,
Mm. What?
because you don't allow yourself to go through those certain feelings and emotions and
Mm.
deal with the problems at hand. So it taught me resilience, but enough of resilience to where I know, hey, I'm really feeling this. I'm being stressed out. Let me stop. So to give it a number, it's kind of hard to actually give it a number, because moving away from South Carolina, being there by myself, going through a marriage slash divorce, um, first episode of PTSD, just constantly things happening over and over again. Then you be that I was there for 3 to 4 years, and then here I am at another duty location. Now I don't have none of my kids with me.
Mm.
So now my youngest son and my middle son is with their dad. My oldest son is with his dad. Now I'm overseas. And I was at one of the places that was very difficult to be at. I was at Guantanamo Bay. So that alone was just like, okay, I'm living in a glass house. So I had to reinvent, how do I live my life? Okay, I can't say certain things here. I can't do certain things here. I'm not going to be able to see my kids. I'm not allowed off post no more than 15 days out of the whole year that I'm supposed to be there. Then getting sick. Then they don't have the medical care. Now I'm getting sent back to the States. Getting sent back to the States for 3, 4 days, flying back overseas. So it was just a lot, just constantly back to back, along with going through the divorce prior to going overseas. So it's just so much. So that's why I say it's hard to give it a number.
Right. And so, do you think this and all of the times of the reinvention experiences and the work that you had to put in led you to to take up a degree in psychology? Because all of that you just explained, it affects your mental. And is that what led you to to focus on a major in psychology? And what was that process for you like, even stepping into deciding I want to go back to school and then psychology is what I want to go with? Like, because all of this is a part of reinventing yourself and kind of adapting to the atmospheres that you're in. How did that come about? Like, kind of what does it look like? Because we see people sometimes and they might, today they're doing this, tomorrow they're doing that, and then we're looking at them like, you kind of all over the place. But while they're trying to
Find their purpose.
find their purpose and create who they are in a space where everything is going on, and you're trying to, because you said you're dealing with health issues, you're dealing with the military, you're dealing with being a mom, you're in a new city, you have new people. That's a lot to be dealing with. So how did all of that lead you to deciding that you wanted to go back to school and focus on a major in psychology?
Well, I always say one of my things is thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
One sip to that. Got thank God
Because
what we've been.
I,
Any
if you
good?
know me, you know what I've been through, and I've been through a lot. I've been through more than the average. And if I told my story, some people will sit here and say, I don't even know how she's still here. But I say that to say my tests and my trials is my testimony. And that's what led me to psychology. because of what I've been through, the domestic violence, besides being in the military, having to deal with that. And that's why I say, with the stressors and the PTSD and going through the divorce with it being domestic. And it was like I knew the help that I needed during that time, and sometimes I still need it. Just because I major in psychology, that don't mean I don't need to go sit on somebody's couch and talk with them. But that helped me to say, yo, I know what I know. I want to help people.
Mm.
I was always doing it. And it took me 25 years to graduate college. So
Listen, and
it's
that
never too late. It's never. I first, went to college, had basketball scholarship, the whole nine. I got pregnant with my oldest son. But I said I wasn't gonna give up. I tried to go back to college 5 other times. So throughout the marriages that I've had, throughout the other things that I've had, you know, deploying, going from one duty station to the next, dealing with family stuff, it was just like I would do good in school for a little bit and then bam, something happened. And
mm,
it's just like, okay, are you going to stop or are you going to keep going? I'm going to stop. And I stopped until one day I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I talked to my kids, talked to my best friend. I was like, yo, I'm going back to school. And I went full force. I graduated from college in less than under a year with
mm.
my associates. And I'm only 8 classes away from my bachelor's, and I'm in school right now to finish that up. I'll be finished in December. So
Congrats.
literally two
Okay.
degrees in a year's time.
Hmm.
And this is coming from someone who tried to go to school 25 years ago and could not complete it. But because of the reinvention and not letting the things that I went through define who I am, I kept pushing. And psychology was it, because I talk to people all the time. Now it's time to get paid to talk to folks
Right.
instead of talking to them for free. But before I did my psychology degree, I am a certified life coach. Um, and one of the things that I am certified in is counseling and mentoring for caregivers for Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, and MS, relationship counseling, wellness counseling. So yeah, all of that. So I started off doing that, and it was just like, okay, that's one step. Now let's go to the next step. So it's still different steps that I'm trying to achieve, because everyone needs someone to talk to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said, it took you 25 years to graduate. It took me 5 years. I was a lot. And I was on my back heavy about that because I was 25. Well, it had to have taken me longer. I was supposed to graduate when I graduated, and most of my friends had already graduated. So, and that it does take a toll on your mind. And there are so many women and men that are growing, getting up in age, and they feel like time has passed them by, and they're talking about that they want to go back to school, but they can do it. What was it that finally pushed you? Like, what was it that made you? Because we all, when you're on a journey of completing any type of process, and like life does for us all, like you said, every time you went back something happened. What was it that made you decide that I don't care what's happening, I need to push through? Because there's somebody out there that is listening. There's a man out there, there's a woman out there that's listening to this story, and they're hearing what you're saying, but they're looking at it, and they, what we do for ourselves, because I was saying it earlier, we are our biggest enemy sometimes. So they'll hear our stories and they'll hear what we're going through, and they'll be like, yeah, I see how that had worked out for her, but for me, it's this, and this. What type of encouragement and advice would you give that person? Because like what I always say is, it's always gonna be something. It don't matter what you're trying to do. The minute you decide you want to do it, and you take that extra step and you start going forward, your lights go out, your house burn down. It's always going to be that type of situation. The minute you decide that you're ready to do what it is that you think you're supposed to be doing, what advice would you give that person or those people to keep pushing forward? Because like we say all the time, the reward is amazing. Like, I know it feels amazing to have finally accomplished what you've been working on for 25 years. But some people will feel like after 25 years, there's no need for me to even try. What advice would you give to that person to encourage them to never give up on themselves and to keep pushing forward when you know it's something that you are destined to be a part of?
I would say, find your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
give yourself grace, and stay resilient. Because never define yourself off of others. Because my best friend just put something on her page the other day. Someone is always going to have more money. They're always going to have a bigger car. They're always going to have a bigger house. They're going to have a bigger job, a better job than you, make more money than you. But that doesn't define who you are. So once you define who you are and you find your purpose and you give yourself grace, because not giving yourself grace and allowing yourself to go through the things that you went through and don't have that self-blame, you will go a long way and you will continue on because it's never too late.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing about it is, we want to encourage everyone to keep moving forward, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You never know what's to be expected. You never know what's on the other side of that door that was just slammed in your face.
Yes.
Have to keep pushing forward. And before we jump to our next topic, because we're going to go into transitioning into the biker community and how you are very hands-on with your community, and we have another guest coming in shortly. Before we jump into that, I want to go ahead and share a poem with you guys tonight, and this poem is titled Winner's Intuition. The desire to be where you thought you should have been will keep you up at night. Every failed attempt to succeed will cloud your mind until you're convinced you can't do anything right. But please be advised, success is not as quick as a 1-hour flight, and it rarely happens when you think it might. Actually, success usually comes right before the end, after we're exhausted and drained and all out of options. That's actually when the true test begins. Can you step out on faith when you feel you have nothing? It is faith that separates those who lose from those who win. Like that poem my mom is always saying, life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Because if you can see it and you can believe it, you definitely can achieve it. So don't you dare let your detours ever defeat you. You have so many more people just waiting to meet you. So much more success just waiting to greet you. So take every punch, no matter how lethal. You only get one life. There won't be a sequel. Fall down 58 times, but get up 59. There is nothing in this world that beats a no without a try. And you don't have to rush. Enjoy your life. Take your time and grieve when you need to. Don't be ashamed to stop and cry. Don't ever forget this is your life. We weren't promised that it will be easy. We were only promised that we won't have to go at it alone. I hope you all understand the seriousness in my tone. Any winner can tell you, because they all had a journey. Tragedy don't care who you are. You understand that more when disasters are occurring. Everything happens for a reason, and that's what you should always keep in mind. Through this situation I'm in, what is it I need to find? What do I need to feel? What do I need to see? What do I need to learn is the ultimate mystery. Terrible things occur so that good things feel great. If every day were a sunny day, it would just be another day. No excitement, no smiles, nothing to look forward to, nothing guaranteed at the end, so there's no reason to push through. The reason a winner fights through all the bad times is to feel the glory and the rewards after the finish line. If it were easy, everyone would do it, and it wouldn't feel so amazing, because it's tough. Most give up. They quit and go back to being lazy. Kick back their feet and relax and say, at least I tried. That's the worst thing you can do. And to that, I can testify, because you'll see those that were on the same journey as you reach their goals and thrive. And you can try as hard as you can, but it's almost impossible not to cry. I was better than them. I could have done that and some. I could have made it through. I shouldn't be here. I could have won. All those hard nights would have been worth it had I just stuck it out. Hard work pays off. That I know without a doubt. But what they don't tell you is you only lose when you quit. You're allowed to take a break, fall short, as long as you begin again. To fail is an opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently, because now you know what not to do. You saw things that before you didn't see. You know roads to avoid, a few shortcuts, some twists and turns. You now know all the things that all winners had to learn. Truth be told. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are on your journey and you are on your path to greatness and you are trying to win, you just have to keep moving forward. It's not going to always be easy. It's not going to always be a walk in the park. It's never going to be overnight. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's never going to be overnight. Anyone that has won will tell you, even when it seems to the world as though it was overnight, baby, I've been working on this all my life. I'm 10 years in. I'm 30 years in. So many of us think it happened overnight, or that it's supposed to happen overnight. It never does. It never does. It takes time. And Miss Felicia, we're speaking about, if you're just now checking in, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chitter, episode 59, The Power of Reinvention. And we have our guest here, Miss Felicia Thomas, and she's been sharing with us her story of reinvention. And now we're going to take a pivot into some extracurricular things, because reinvention comes in all shapes and sizes. And Miss Felicia, you're also a biker. That journey in freeing your mind and hitting the road and jumping on your bike, that's a whole like live experience of reinvention in itself. How does biking, how does that help you move forward in your growth journey, in your reinvention journey? And were there things that community helped introduce you to and push you forward in life?
Being a biker, I would say it's therapy within itself. Mm-hmm. Because getting on my motorcycle and just riding, whether it's down a country road, whether it's on the highway, yeah, sometimes I have the need for speed. But I know that at times you just, like, when you're on that road, your mind is just clearing. The more miles you ride, the more clear your mind get, and the more stress is just let up off you. I can honestly say, when I was going through therapy and everything, and my therapist, he asked me, he say, well, what are you doing to help you out? I say, well, I get on my motorcycle, I feel better then. He say, well, I challenge you at least 15 hours out of the week, whether how you get that in or not, I'm gonna need you to do that. And that's what I did. So it was like therapy within itself. And also meeting other people. You meet people from all walks of life in the bike community. Even though they try to say it's a man's world, but baby, the women are taking over. The women are taking over. And it is some women, some amazing people within the bike community. You wouldn't even believe like what they do, their job and everything. Mm-hmm. So, the stereotypical saying, oh, biker gang. No, we're not a gang. We, this is a passion that we have and we love and we share it. Now, each individual have their own passion for it, whether you want to ride on the weekend or you want to ride long distance, or however you want to ride. It's still a passion, for riding, and it's just enjoyable and it brings people together.
Absolutely. And you were just speaking about some of the stereotypes, because I know, like, most of the time when people do, like you just said, when they hear the word biker, they're thinking gang, they're thinking troublemaker. But what are some of the things that you have experienced in your community that maybe you were shocked that existed inside the biker community, and you can kind of share with the rest of us so that we could knock away some of these stereotypes? Because like any situation in life, There are the pros, there are the cons, there are the truths, and then there are the non-truths. Like there's gonna always be a little truth to every story, and there's always a little lie. But when we think about bikers, when most of us hear it, we get the bad bikers. We never really hear about the positive of the positivity. I have heard many bikers say that riding their bike is therapy to them. But what many people don't know is a lot of biker clubs, they do community outreach, they have programs, they do other things. What is something, because all of this, again, the power of reinvention, all of this is about reinventing yourselves, because there are some men and women that are out here that enjoy their biker clubs and they enjoy going out and riding their bikes, but they try to stray away or aren't as public about it because of the stereotypes and some of the things that they have to deal with. So when you're trying to exist in a certain aspect of life, but then you have extracurriculars that are kind of shunned upon or have a negative connotation of what they are and what they do, it's kind of hard to say, oh, I'm gonna reinvent myself and this is this is the community I want to be a part of. What are some things you can tell us as far as the community outreach and the positives about the biker clubs that can help remove that stereotype and draw people into the therapy side of it, and and how it helps you when you're trying to reinvent yourself and get more acclimated into that community?
Well, as you stated, they do have a lot of charity events that they do. Each club, within their bylaws, I can't speak on everybody's, but for the ones that I do know, that is part of their bylaws. Giving back to the community. I know here in Columbia, the Bike Alliance, that's here, USC, they do a big thing every Thanksgiving, and they give back to the community. They feed the community. All the clubs, whether it's a motorcycle club or car club, a SC, a social club, everyone get together. They meet at one of the high schools here, and they feed the community. And it's a big event every year. And you also have other community services and stuff that they do without the year, whether they adopting a highway or they feeding the less fortunate throughout the year, or giving blankets or something back. But also it brings sister and brotherhood. Yes, you have your situations, and everything has its problems.
Absolutely.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect at all, but um it allows you to have a sister and a brotherhood outside of your immediate family. And sometimes you can call on those people within your club before you can call on your own family. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. And just being a part of a community where you can live in one state and go to another state, and say on the way you break down or something like that, you can make a post on Facebook, and guess what, somebody is coming to get you.
And that is beautiful.
Somebody is coming to get
Guys,
you.
we don't even get to hear about like the state. It's almost like a fraternity or a sorority, and we don't get to see that side of it. And it's just a beautiful thing to even hear that, because like when people have been strictly known for biking their entire lives and they try to reinvent themselves, they have to fight against that stereotype, like, oh, that's where you come from, this is all you do. But no, now we're hearing another side of it, and you get to see that it's so much more to the community than we look. And speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our final guest of the night. I hope she's ready. Go ahead and add her to the stage. Hello, hello. How are you, Miss Amanda? We can't hear you. Let me unmute you, honey. There you go. Oh wait, you're still muted. You're still muted. You have to do it. She's gonna be in a second, you guys. Just all right, Miss Amanda. How are you?
I am wonderful. Hello, Miss Felicia.
We went from not hearing you to loud and proud, girl. It's so
That's who I am, sweetheart.
it's always
But yes,
it's always a pleasure to have you here on Chitter. As we all know, you're very familiar with my guest, Miss Felicia, and we are speaking here tonight
yes,
about
yes.
the power of reinvention. And Miss Amanda, when you hear that, because like I was saying to Miss Felicia, you've had to reinvent yourself a multitude of times throughout your life and throughout your experience. When you think of reinvention and reinventing yourself and the things that comes with that, the process of reinventing yourself, what is some advice or the first thing that comes to mind that you think about when you hear it, and something that you can share with other women that are also in the process of reinventing themselves?
My thing is, when I think about reinventing myself, I think about tapping
I
out.
can't hear her.
You can't hear me?
I can't.
Okay. Cause she's super loud on my screen. What's can you, Miss Amanda, go ahead.
Hello, hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear?
Oh, that's weird. Let me see here. Let me see if I can hear myself on social media here, because I can.
Well,
I'm
don't
not.
do that. You're gonna it's gonna feedback, but just continue telling your story and we'll do ad libs. Felicia, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Felicia, can you hear me? She can't
No.
hear me. That's weird. It has to be your
So hold on one second. Go ahead and speak and I'll tell you. When you think of reinvention, Miss Amanda, what do you think of? Go ahead and tell us.
I think of being, I know y'all may think this is weird, but when it came to me and how I reinvented myself, I had to tap out of the universe. I had to get into self. I had to be in quiet spaces. I had to put my mind in a different place. And that's how I reinvent myself. I get into places where it's just me and I tap into my inner self. And it's just me and God, and I dig deep. I dig deep because I believe that everything that I need in this world is already here through the man above. So when I tap into that side of my whole being, then that's when my reinventions come. That's when my true identity is revealed. That's when the impossible, the things that I never imagined, are exposed. Everything about me, everything I prayed for, everything I dreamed of, everything I ever wanted to be is revealed. I'm able to tap into that through my subconscious mind. So that's what I think about. I think that people get so caught up into the outer world until they lose that space or that identity of who they are and in order to be able to reinvent themselves. So that's just what I think about. What is it going to take for me to get to the place where I want to be? What do I have to do? And those are the things that I think about when I just think about reinventing. How do I make this happen? How do I do this? And what is it going to take for me to get there? And so that's just how I feel about when it comes to that, because I know all things are possible. All things are possible to them that love God.
Absolutely.
So when I'm able to tap into that spirit, that part of myself, that part of my life, then everything happens. Magic happens. I grow. I discover things that I never ever knew even about myself. And that's how I become that new person that I dreamed of, that I prayed for, that I thought about. And that's when it all, it all comes together.
And like me and Miss Felicia were talking about, Miss Amanda, so many women women period, women of color and non-color, when we're reinventing ourselves, sometimes it can look like we're all over the place. Sometimes it can look like we're razor focused. Sometimes it can look like we're detached from what's going on in the world and stuck just focusing on what it is, trying to find our purpose, trying to make this happen, trying to make that happen. For you, what does it look like when you're reinventing yourself? And what is some advice that you can give to other women to help with the reinvention? Because we're trying to be able to reinvent ourselves in a way where we don't lose ourselves and we also don't get too overwhelmed, because I've said it throughout the night that sometimes we are our biggest enemy. So what does it look like? What does the reinvention process look like? Because like I was telling Miss Felicia, sometimes when we're reinventing ourselves, it can look like we're all over the place. We got this going on, we got that going on, we got this going on. But sometimes we're just trying to figure out who we are and how we fit into this world. So what does that look like for you? And what is some advice you can give to another woman that is in the same process that you're in, but trying to keep it all together? Because it's easy to keep it together because we're all strong Black women. So when we're speaking, we kind of give the advice of, this is how I get it done, and this is how it needs to be done, because naturally it's in us to make it happen, to find a way or make a way. That's the CAU motto. We find a way or we make one. But what does it look like when you're trying to find that way? And what is some advice that you would give to another woman? Same question for you, Miss Felicia. What is the advice you would give to another woman that is overwhelmed with the reinvention process?
For me, I think that, yes, everything that you just said is true. It may look like somebody's all over the place, but guess what? I just believe in closing my eyes. I'm not looking to the left. I'm not looking to the right. I'm not looking up, down. I'm not even listening to what people are saying, thinking, or what's on their mind. To me, it's about me and God. When I'm reinventing, I'm caught up in the Holy Spirit. I'm caught up in the presence of the moment. And I'm saying that even if I'm out in public, you may see me, but you don't know me at that moment because I'm in a different world. And I believe that if people close their eyes and not worry about what people are saying, not worry about what people are thinking, and just focus on what God promised you, focus on what you're trying to accomplish, focus on what you're trying to reinvent. I believe that if you do that and you're able to tap into that subconscious mind, that I'm telling you, all things are possible. Things that you may not have even ever thought of is going to happen. It is real. And I'm not just talking about reading a book. I'm not telling you something that someone else has told me. I'm talking from experience that it is real. So if we can be, like they say, in the world, but not of the world, if you could just be in that space and know that there's nobody around me but me and God right now, because I'm reinventing Amanda. I'm reinventing who I am. I'm reinventing this process. I'm telling you that some wonderful things will happen. And that is why we are the first Black-owned, online and hybrid cosmetology apprenticeship school in the United States. Why? Because we were able to shut ourselves out from this world and get caught up in what God was doing. And so when God gets ready to do his job, let me tell you, wonderful things happen. Things that people never imagined, things that people never saw before. It confuses people. So people in their mind, oh, she's over here, she's over there, she's doing that.
Mm.
That's on them to think that or assume that, but you know where you're at and you know what God is doing, and that is the only thing that matters. That is
and Felicia, same question, because you and Miss Amanda are kind of like the same type of like resilience. That's basically the word that we're going through for tonight. Resilience is how we push through. What does that look like? And what is some advice that you can give to the next one? Miss Amanda's advice was for us to block out what's going on that doesn't pertain to the purpose that we are trying to accomplish in our lives. If it doesn't, basically, if it's not helping me, it's hindering me, so I don't see it. What advice would you give to another woman or even another man that is on the reinvention journey and is overwhelmed with the journey? Because we like I was saying, we don't often know what it looks like. So people judge us based off of what it seems to look like. Like sometimes it seems like we're all over the place. It seems like we don't know what we got going on. It seems like we're going through a depression. Sometimes you're just getting yourself together. What is some advice that you can give to the next woman or the next man that is in the reinvention process to keep pushing forward when it's overwhelming? Because we all know that the reward is on the end. We all know that if you keep pushing forward, it's supposed to give you this. But when it gets overwhelming, when you like everybody doesn't have the strength and the resilience to make it 25 years. Everybody doesn't have the strength and resilience to make it through the military, come home, raise their kids, go back to school, and keep moving forward. What is some advice that you would give them when it's getting overwhelming? It's not to say that you can't do it. It's just to say that you're in an overwhelming position right now. And what would you need to hear in that moment to help you push forward? If you didn't have the support system that you have, what is something that you would need to hear? And what is something that you could tell the next woman to keep her pushing forward, or man?
I will say this. I know I wish I would have heard what Miss Amanda said. I hate that I couldn't hear her.
Right.
But like I said earlier, allow yourself grace. Give yourself some grace. And also heal. Whether it's healing from your past, from your childhood, from different situations, from your job, from friends, from relationships. Allow yourself time to heal. And also allow yourself time to grieve. A lot of people look at a grieving process of someone dying, but the thing is, a grieving process is just losing a situation, losing a relationship, losing a job, losing old habits that you should have let go,
losing stability. That'll take
yes. So grieve the process. Allow yourself to go through the healing, the grieving, and then I always say, take you a small vacation, a staycation, whether it's you buy yourself some stuff and be in your room and you turn your phone off and you play you some music and you get you some snacks and you have that moment to yourself, because our biggest thing is we don't take time out for ourselves.
That is so true.
We don't. So true. I tell my clients that one of the things that I do, and I still do, even though no one is at home because I'm an empty nester now, I still sit in my car for 35 to 40 minutes minimum at a time. And it's still nobody in my house, because what I've always told myself from the time that I started healing and going through things, I will not allow anything that I'm going through or dealing with cross the threshold of my house. So if I'm dealing with the outside world, I'm going to deal with it in that car, because when I cross that threshold in my household, it's all gone. Because what you allow yourself to bring into your household, you're going to keep going through it while you sleep. You're going to wake up to it, and it's going to be a cycle all over again. So before you cross your threshold, leave it at the door.
Absolutely.
And if
don't forget,
go to
even
that door
and
tell it to get out.
And ladies and gentlemen, I have 3 more questions for the both of you before we wrap it up for the night. But I'm going to begin with you, Miss Felicia, and Miss Amanda. I want you to answer the same question. Looking back over everything you've accomplished throughout your life, everything that you've done, all the times that you've reinvented yourself, what is the version of yourself that you're most proud of? We'll begin with you, Miss Felicia, and then Miss Amanda, I want you to answer. Because there are so many times even me at 35, there are so many times when we as women have to reinvent ourselves. What is the version you are most proud of? And if it's not the version that you are now, what was the process like reinventing from the process that you felt like would be the version of you forever? Like, this is the version I thought I would always be for the rest of forever, and then life done shook me up. Now I got to reinvent again. What is the version of you that you're most proud of? And if that's not who you are right now, what was the reinvention process from there to now like?
I would say the reinvention process was not giving up, but the main thing was walking across that stage and allowing my kids to see me walk across that stage.
And
You know, it's one thing to see your kids walk across the stage and have their big accomplishments, but to allow your kids to see you walk across that stage, it meant everything to me. And I'm like almost in tears because even my son, who was in Hawaii, he's stationed in Hawaii, he had just got off sea duty. He stayed up on video just to see me walk across that stage, and that meant everything. My middle son flew in from Italy just to see his mama walk across that stage. My oldest son, he had a big catering job he did not go to just to see his mom walk across that stage. And I didn't graduate here in South Carolina. I graduated all the way in Lynchburg, Virginia. So for my family, my uncle who few months ago we thought we were going to lose, he was able to ride and see me walk across that stage. My mom, my sister, like my brother, just to have those individuals and stuff there, it meant so much to me because I never thought that I was going to make it because so many hurdles, so many setbacks, but I never gave up.
That is so beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, let this be a testimony to you to never give up. You can hear Miss Felicia tell her story on how amazing it felt to finally get that accomplishment after reinventing herself. And like she said earlier, more times than she can even give a number to. But it's always worth it to keep going and keep reinventing yourself. And sometimes the best feeling in the world is knowing that your loved ones have seen you accomplish whatever it is that you're setting to accomplish. Don't ever give up on yourself. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. The power of reinvention can reawaken a spirit in you that you didn't even know existed. And once you really tap into that, you just keep reinventing and keep reinventing and keep reinventing. And it's so beautiful. Miss Amanda, same question.
Wow. And my answer, can you hear me, Felicia, now? She still can't hear me. My answer is very similar to her answer. My answer is this. When you have worked so hard on something for many, many years, and your children get a chance to see you working, but or even people around you, people that you know, family and friends, and you get to share with them, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm building this school. It'll be, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And you're telling this story year 1. Year 5, you're still telling this story. Year 10, you might still be telling that story. And people begin to say, oh yeah, well, she's been saying that forever, or she's been doing that forever. But the most wonderful gratification is when it comes to completion.
Absolutely.
And you're able to show your family, your friends, your loved ones that all you have to do is stick with it. Because years ago, when I decided to retire from behind the chair, you know, many people say, okay, well, you retire. But to me, it was so much more work to do. And to be able to do it with something that I love, something that I have been doing my entire life, but another step up, another phase of that. So when you're working on something for so long, people will begin to give up on you. People will begin to not believe in you. And you have to even press on through that, even when you know people don't believe in. The most beautiful thing to me, Uniqua, is the end results. When it finally comes to existence and the world can see it. So for me, on my 60th birthday, I'm celebrating a new invention that I am exposing to the whole world. Something that I have been working on for the last 10 years that they might have saw bits and pieces of it. But that is my reinvention that I will totally expose and launch to the fullest extent, because they might have got a piece here and a piece there and a piece there and a piece there. So for me, that's my biggest gratification, knowing that I worked on something. I worked hard. I didn't quit. I didn't give up. No matter how dark it got, no matter how hard times got, I believed in something, and I was willing to push my way through the storm of the whole thing, because I knew that in the end, I was building something not just for me, but I was building legacy for my family, that for my friends, that they're able to see, hey, it's worth it. It's worth it. And that was important to me. It was important that in the end that they not see me fall. In the end that they not say, oh, I know she wasn't going to do this, or no. It was important for me that in the end that they say, you know, my mom, they'll be able to tell the story because they saw it firsthand. They saw me sitting there working early mornings, late nights, all during the daytime. They saw me putting in, and in the end, they was able to say, job well done, Mom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Miss Amanda, next question. We have two more. 30 seconds. Top. 30 seconds now.
Oh, gosh.
Felicia, I have the same question for you. I just got to give Miss Amanda a little time frame because we know she's long-winded. 30 seconds, Miss Amanda.
No, you're actually long-winded with the questions, but go ahead.
But let's be clear. This is just
and let's be clear. This is Miss Amanda Manigault.
Make these questions last all night. The host, Le Blum. I got to remind Miss Amanda from time to time she get on here and forget that this
Girl, go ahead with the question.
Yes, Miss Amanda. What's next for you? 30 seconds.
Woo! What's next for me is training the next generation. I really feel like God has been good to me my entire life. I was able to be in a career that I love and see it to the fullest extent. Now for me, it's about putting things in place so that the next generation will do much better than I've ever done or ever imagined. And that is what's next for me. Coming away from it. I believe that when you could build something and you could train other people and step back and watch it just do what it do, that is just the amazing thing. And that's where I'm at in my life. I've built something amazing, and now I want to step back and watch the next generation do what they do.
And that kind of answers the third question all in one. So I'm going to take one sip to you knocking it out. But Miss Felicia, I had to take my sip. Miss Felicia, before we jump into that third question, Miss Amanda kind of already answered, so I might not even need to come back to her. What is next for you, Miss Felicia? You're muted.
Okay, there we go. So what's next for me is I graduate with my bachelor's in December. But before then, I have a back to school bash that's coming up on July 30th with the city of Casey. I'll be putting a flyer and stuff out for that. Just trying to take my business, K&L Entertainment, to a new level. Trying to get some outer state bookings and stuff with that. But along I have
you have one October 23rd.
Well, I was vice chair for the KC events committee, but now I am the chair for the KC events committee. I do have some stuff up my sleeves.
Yes, we can't hear
within
all that exciting stuff
the next year or so. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned for that. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be a big accomplishment.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking like it's already happened. I'm claiming it.
No.
But
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
yes,
right.
You
That's
talk
right.
happened because it is. And that brings me to the final question of the question rounds. Miss Felicia, we're going to begin with you, and Miss Amanda, we're still in a 30-second time frame.
Girl, leave me alone.
What legacy do you hope to leave behind? Miss Felicia, we're going to start with you. Miss Amanda, I see you looking up at the sky. Don't take 30 minutes to answer that
Girl,
question.
be quiet.
Because you like, what legacy do I? Oh, make it quick. Miss Felicia, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
That I made everyone's proud.
Amen. And ladies and gentlemen, something that Black women, I have to specifically speak on us because I'm a Black woman and I can only really speak from my own personal experiences. So many of us have goals and dreams and expectations and want to do things that have nothing to do with us. And that in our community, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because like Miss Felicia said earlier, we rarely do things for us. We rarely take time out for us. We rarely do what needs to be done for ourselves. Most of the time when we're talking about what we plan on doing and what we want to leave behind and what we're proud of, it's mostly about, because a lot of I have to go in and say, I hate that you weren't here right now, but a lot of the things that I've done in my life was strictly to please my mother or to please.
Wow.
Girl, ain't no wow.
Wow.
Girl, wow. But in life, so many of us do that. Like what Miss Felicia said, when what she wants to leave behind for her legacy is to know that she made everyone proud. And that is so many of us just want to make those that we love and those that are looking up to us and those that have so much work, we want to make them proud. So I don't know why Miss Amanda talking about wow as though she's not my mother and I want to make her proud. This is something that all of us in life are always, there are so many men out here that are struggling in life because they're trying to make their dads proud and they never were able to. There are so many women out here that are trying to make their moms proud and were never able to. Miss Amanda, I'm so amazing. She's so proud of me. I'm so abundantly blessed to have had that. But there are so many children, men, women that are just fighting to make others proud. That is why this conversation is so powerful. That's why it's so necessary and needed, because you need to know that you can reinvent yourself. You need to know that sometimes we're going to fall short. You're not going to always make them people proud. They're going to look at you a little disappointed from time to time. Miss Amanda, I apologize for the times when I fell short. But, hey, that is life, ladies and gentlemen. But you have to know how to bounce back. You have to know how to put in that resilience, that tap in, and to keep moving forward. Because you're listening to women on this live that are telling you that even when things got hard, they kept going forward, and it didn't happen overnight. Miss Amanda was talking to you. She never specified how many years, but when I asked her what is version of her is most proud, the version of her that she's the most proud of took her over 50 years to build. Ladies and gentlemen, the accomplishment that she was saying that she was the most proud of, it took her almost 50 years to build. Miss Felicia was talking about the accomplishment of her children seeing her walk across stage. Took her 25 years to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, your story is never over. You always have time to reinvent yourselves, and use these ladies and our stories as an example to let you know that sometimes the best version of yourself hasn't even presented itself yet. You have not even reached the version of yourself that you're going to look at and be like, I'm the most proud of that. Mm-hmm. Both of these ladies here on this episode tonight explained to you how they reinvented themselves, how they went through multiple things, how they spent years and years of doing it, and still the version that they were most proud of is the most recent version of themselves. That is the beauty of resilience, the beauty of sisterhood, the beauty of sticking to it, the beauty of the power of reinvention, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Amanda, what legacy do you hope to leave behind? We're still in the 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
The legacy that I hope to leave behind is that every beauty professional that comes behind me will remember that it's not where you come from. It's not who your mom is. It's not who your dad is. It's about your resilience. It's about what you want. It's about who you are, and that you can be and become anything that you want to be. I'm just a little Black girl who was raised on 6th Street in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, who started braiding hair at the age of 11. And I had a dream. I had goals. I believed in myself and I trusted God. And I believe that if I want to leave a legacy behind, it would be the never, ever, ever give up and always believe in yourself and trust in God. That's the legacy that I will leave. Keep going, because there's always more to do.
Absolutely.
Okay? That's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to go ahead and thank you, ladies, for coming on and sharing your story and sharing your experience and being open and being willing to tell everyone some of the things that you've gone through and give advice. Miss Felicia, I want you to go ahead and tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, how they can connect with you, and briefly explain to us a few of the projects that you said you have coming up. Before we go ahead and end for the night, I want you to go ahead and tell everyone all of that, how they can get in touch with you, any events that you have going on, and services that you offer, because you are working toward psychology, so they need to start paying you, girl. She charges moving forward. You cannot get free advice anymore.
Well,
coins. When said, when you got the coins.
So you can reach me on Facebook at Felicia T. Thomas, or on Instagram as Coach_Fee. K&L Entertainment. If you're looking for 360 booth, event decorating, catering, we do it all. Send us a message, or you can reach me at 803-908-5517. Send me a text message with your information. I can get back to you. Also, a piece of new beginning for any kind of counseling that you may need. We provide, shall I say, packages and stuff that you can do, but it's reasonable. I do mentoring, I do counseling, well, let me say coaching, until I get my license.
Right.
So don't want to
and Brian.
Yeah. Also, we have a piece of new beginning community outreach, where we're going to connect with Casey Public Safety and do the back to school bash, and along with Black Girl Beauty in December. That's one of the bigger events. That's our annual toy drive and toy give back. About 25 to 30 families. So stuff will go out soon for that. Collecting toys, collecting monetary donations, waters, start putting a list of stuff out, because if we start now, as they say, Christmas in July, we can provide more for the families and stuff. And I want this year to be bigger than last year. And last year I pushed for a gala, but this year I most definitely will be pushing for a gala. So
and I do want to say, this is year 10. Somewhere down the line we missed a year.
Tell me what Miss Amanda say.
But this is year 10. So yes, the gala is the gala is necessary.
Gala is definitely what we need to do. Miss Amanda, same question.
So I don't have 30 seconds, but let me just say this.
You more
so if you have a child at home sitting on the couch doing nothing, maybe they have a little bit of skills and beauty, maybe they do a little hair, maybe they do a little braiding, maybe they do wigs, weaves, something. Let me help them get a license. I can help your children. I focus on age 16 to 25. I really want to get these youth that are in high school, that are in anywhere from the 10th through the 12th grade. We have pre-apprenticeship programs for the youth ages 10 through 17, where they can get started in the program. And when they turn 16, they can go straight and transition into our registered apprenticeship program. But my main focus is those youth that are in high school, grades 10 through 12. I can help you get licensed and have you licensed before you graduate from high school. So that once you graduate, whether you're going off to college, whatever you're doing, you will be ready for work. You will be making money. You start making money right away. So you don't have to go to McDonald's and get a job. You don't have to go to Burger King's or Chick-fil-A. You can go in a salon and start learning the trade that you probably already have skills for anyway. Let me help you get licensed. We're currently in the state of Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Georgia, as well as Tennessee. So that's my main thing right now. And with our youth programs, we have after school programs. We have a monthly boot camp, a monthly hair braiding camp for adults. So that's what I have, Miss Uniqua. You can go to BGB.
Before you come in here and tell us how busy you are and how quickly you have to slide out, because you know you like to do.
Let me just say this now. Let me say this. Go to Go to BGB schoolofcareers.com. That's boy, girl, boy, schoolofcareers.com. All right. And you'll find that information there.
Before you slide on out, I want you to go ahead and tell everyone about this upcoming event that we have.
So we have an event. If you are looking for a trade, anyone looking for a trade, Uniqua, you should have that brochure or something right here. Do you? Can you put that up?
Don't ask me no crazy questions online.
I'm just saying, I'm looking for
what you're saying. You already know what you're saying. Tell us.
So I don't see it. Well, I mean, I mean, if you're looking for a new trade or a new skill, we have on August 1st coming up 3K's Training Institute. We will be hosting 3K's Training Institute, where they will be coming here for the medical courier certification. So if you know anybody out here that's jobless or anything like that, looking for a new skill, please register. You can text Tanza at 504-777-9499. That's 504-777-9499. And that is on August 1st, where Black Girl Beauty School of Careers will be hosting 3K's Training Institute for the medical courier certification.
And you guys, make sure you come out for that event, because this is an event that helps you guys get jobs, and I know you need them. So
they must be registered. They must be registered, so they need to contact Tanza for that event.
So come on out and register, and me and Miss Amanda and I will be hosting that event. So you know it's going to be a good time. You know the food is going to be amazing if I'm there, because if not, I ain't there. Gotta keep a good meal when Uniqua's in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. I want everyone to thank my guests for coming on. Miss Amanda, it's always a pleasure to have you. Miss Felicia, it was so awesome to have you ladies here. This is episode 59. We are speaking about the power of resilience, and I just want to thank my guests for coming on. And I'm going to see you ladies down in the studio after the episode. It has been a great night. Thank you, ladies, for coming on. And I just want to close out tonight with thanking everyone for being a part of this episode. Chitter has reached its 59th episode, and I'm just so thankful that I was able to make it here to episode 59, because next episode is episode 60, and I gotta do something big and nice for y'all, because I've reached my 60th episode for the second time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were with Chitter Chatter from the beginning, you know I had to remove some episodes and add some in, but I have officially made it back to episode 60. It has been a journey, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about the power of reinvention and resilience, and let's be clear, I didn't come up with this episode for nothing. Definitely was at the top of my list, because I myself had to. Chitter Chatter is an example of resilience. This show has been monumental in helping me grow and helping me move forward. And sometimes you have to be aware of that, because you need to be able to step out and make everything count. Make it all count. And ladies and gentlemen, as we close out Chitter Chatter tonight, I want you to keep in mind, no matter where you are in life, remember that your story is still being written. Reinvention isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the fullest version of who you were always meant to be. Thank you for joining us for episode 59 of Chitter Chatter, the power of reinvention. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep the conversation going. It has been a plum-pleasing pleasure. Good night. You know what time it is. It's Chitter Chatter time. It's Chitter Chatter time. This ain't just talk. This is healing. This is growth. This is truth. This ain't just talk. This is healing. This is growth. This is truth. Chitter Chatter. We run the vibe. Talk it out loud. Bring it to the